Welcome back to Flannel Dads, episode 9, where we are continuing our discussion of post grunge bands, the successors to the grunge movement of the early 90s. So, last time we discussed kind of the fragmenting of subgenres that occurred after, and not like grunge was the sole one popular in the early 90s, but I think anyone that took a glancing look at the types of music that was coming out from 94 to 98, ish, it was just exploding in every possible direction of music taste. And, a lot of us in that time were, like collecting it all. Like, I like that too. And so new things were opening up that were popular. And so that was, a very interesting piece that I don't know. I mean, I didn't live through past decades. And, when you look back at like 70s, you've got a lot of your classic rock type rock bands, your discos, your things like that. But to me, I'm probably biased being a 90s teenager, but I think we had a lot more, like a lot more experimentation, and maybe the radios were more open to playing more different stuff. But that's just like a thing I keep reminding myself, like how goddamn lucky we were to be, you
It's
know, to
unbelievable.
be fans of music in this time period, to kind of get exposed to that much all at once. So
Yeah.
yeah, cool stuff. Any opening thoughts from you that?
Just going on that, like, I think, and I don't know the answer. Like, we've talked about that we didn't live in the 70s, we didn't live in the 60s, and, the 80s, we were too young, like, I don't know if it was things were more accessible, or I don't like understand what, like, caused us to be so lucky. Like, I
Yeah,
think it was an accessibility issue. I think it was just there was more avenues to get music to people, so
yeah,
they
that's
had to
probably it.
fill that. They didn't have to necessarily, in the 70s, maybe they had to, like, this is good, but we only have one shot at this, and so I think that probably had something to do with it. But just based off of what you said, that was one.
Yeah, that's and your words, make me think exactly that. Technology was one, major change in terms of, I mean, we weren't seeing streaming quite yet in the 90s, but CDs being the primary mode of delivery to the masses was probably a big part of that because um, when you think the old days of like the old record executives where you had to have a deal and they owned every kind of stage of production,
Every
and it
single
was
piece of it.
vinyl that was getting produced in a factory. I mean, CDs were too, but I think you had a lot more independent labels that emerged in the 90s. Like when you think of like Trent Reznor and his Interscope and all the things he did with Manson and, other industrial metal acts, or just lots of that where you didn't have to be Warner Brothers or Sony. You could be a small like Seattle type label, and then locally release it and
Yeah.
produce the things, and then all you needed was to get one of your self-produced or locally produced to a radio, and then boom, you got popularity, and then MTV's like, what, you got a video for that, let's go.
Yeah, it was we had, they had records and cassettes. Like, there was still that piece of physical technology. Like, they had that, but there was more avenues, like you said, to get to that point. Like, the radio stations were growing in numbers. Like,
Yeah, that's
back
another
in the
one.
day, like, there was a handful. Then there was every genre had their own, and then MTV was still going, and you could just, and I think it was the big thing about it, like, you could get played locally
Right.
and kind of elevate up the chain to, I think a good example that we've come up with is like Local H, like that
Mm,
were, they in the 80s, there were nobody would have heard that outside of Zion, like,
yeah.
and then, so there was just more avenues. And, like, it's funny because when you look at now to then, it's like hilariously, like, comically even easier to, not easier, but
Well, it is. I mean, in terms of you don't need any talent to
You don't
record
need
yourself on
any. You
YouTube.
don't need anything. You just put whatever you make out there, and it can be listened to or not. Like,
Right.
yeah. And there's just more. And like, I think we caught it right before the spike, like right
Yeah. Right.
before, and the internet Napsters and things changed the music industry in a big way.
Yeah.
That's outside of the scope of this episode. That happened a year later, I think.
Yeah.
But
It was 99 is kind of the year I always think that's
that's
when stream like
I didn't
downloading
really get
happened.
into it until 2000. So
Right.
2001 got really into it. But yeah, so in the time period we're talking about, it was like just it got expanded pretty quickly, like the avenues, the accessibility
Yeah.
of things. So yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. No, you mentioned the radio, and that again sparked another thought. Like college radio was
Mm,
one of those kind of incubation kind of places where like REM always gets kind of associated with that, where they were like hugely popular in a college radio, very small local Georgia where they were from.
yeah,
And then once that bled out of that, because college radio and small regional radios didn't have the range to go from their little spot to
literally
Chicago,
didn't couldn't
LA.
yeah.
Right. And so that was kind of the way it spread, kind of, not virally, but, on the backs or on the mouths of people saying it and maybe taping it or, something off the radio. Cause that's another big kind of component. I mean, I think cassettes, it was always a thing, in terms of being able to copy things and record music you hear on the radio on a cassette, and then CD copying was definitely not quite as early in the 90s. I mean, late 90s, maybe I started having
98
a CD burner in my computer that I could
right,
make my own magic collections and mixtapes of, or
which
mix CD.
changed the economics of the music
Right.
industry, changed the just the it changed that
The
did.
shareability, I think, is the biggest because I mean, I made every girl I was interested in, here's a CD of all my songs I like or that make me think about you or whatever.
Yeah,
And so,
it was because like everybody was forced to listen to the same thing up
yeah,
until a point, which lies in this period of time where now everybody had a playlist and
right,
it was their own kind of like. But before that, everybody was constrained to listening to the same albums,
right, right.
the same vinyls, the same cassettes, the same CDs up to a point. And so, yeah, this is
Or whatever they played on the radio, which you had no control over really.
no, no.
And yeah, I mean I think that what you just said is kind of like the origin of popular music in America in like the 50s when it was a tight, you know, small
Extremely.
group of people that said this is what we're playing and this is what we're not playing, and it steered, you would never hear it, the stuff they weren't playing anywhere else, like, unless you went to a club that band was there, but that was extremely unlikely to hear something that was not kind of the publicly approved,
Right.
and I'm talking like it was censorship and all sorts of other like, political reasons why, oh, you can't say that because it's salacious or it's insinuating some sexual thing, or it's violent or whatever. I mean,
And I
and that's
think
another funny
it's
thing to
another
see.
point is I think the what was allowed, I guess,
Hmm.
sort of seemed to change, during the 90s. There was no way Jeremy was getting played in the 80s. Like that
Yeah,
wasn't like, and things like that, and things of those, you know, kind of salacious nature was
yeah, dark themes of serious, right?
yeah, there was drugs and like, early late 80s, the gangster rap and stuff, sure, but like and I think that helped pave the way for some of this too,
Yeah,
like, so, but like, yeah, it seemed to open up that, and I think in this time period it it grew just, a little bit more, and just opened up the floodgates
right.
for music. And we see it in this era, and we'll talk a lot about it. Like there's so many things that came out of 94 to 97, like
Yeah, it's
it's
amazing.
unbelievable. Yeah.
But that was one of the funniest things of seeing all these CDs again, is seeing all the parental advisory
Oh yeah,
stickers that some are hard printed on the inside and some were like stuck on the outside,
sticker.
like
Yep.
after the fact. And so that was a, to that exact
That's
point.
hilarious because some they knew up front. They're like, oh,
Right.
if it's somewhere they're like, this is fine. Then like 2 months later, after hearing it on the radio twice, people are like calling in. They're like,
Yeah.
we got to put a sticker on that thing. Yeah.
Right. But it was, I mean, and that's a silly, I mean, that was how they got around the, you can't play this, you can't sell this unless you put a little, same with like cigarettes cause cancer. It's like the people that want it don't give a fuck. And, or they look out for that specifically. Be like, this must be good if it's got
Yeah.
this. I mean, that's how I used
Right
to take
for
it.
it. Yeah.
But the other flip to that is like when you look at like Spotify, like songs that have expletives in them will have an E, I think is and that's, but it's so downplayed and like invisible to the listener, really.
Yeah.
And so that is either a sign of our culture just, absorbing that and accepting it and not seeing the warning as, you know it's not stopping anybody from listening to it.
Right. Right.
But again, it's that all of this kind of happened in this time period because in 80s and before, it just didn't get played, it didn't get sold.
It didn't get exposed at all. Yeah.
Yeah. And then now they plastered that on
And then it
every
got, yeah. Well,
one.
it's funny. You're like, it's like it wasn't exposed, and it started to be, and then the warning labels, and then it just now nobody
Yeah.
cares. Like
Right. It was like a morality crusade that,
it was, it was. It's
that
like the war
nobody,
on drugs. Yeah, didn't fucking
right,
work. Yeah,
when the population was like, we don't really mind, so just stop, like,
just
you're wasting your breath.
yeah,
Okay, so first topic we wanted to talk about is Ozfest, because that to me was, kind of an eruption of awesomeness that we were so fortunate to be on the front, ground level to see kind of come into existence. So Ozfest began in 1996. It was quite a contained group. Like when I'm going to read off the lineup of the main stage and the second stage, but before I do that, and I didn't attend 96. My first one was 97. I don't know if you were with me. Do you remember
I was
doing
not.
Ozfest?
Mm-mm.
No. So so we had
Where's
you
it
came to
at?
see you came to see Ozzy with me, at least, didn't you?
I
Before
came to see
Ozfest
Ozzy.
began.
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty sure because it was the Osmosis tour, so 95, 96. I
Yeah.
think pre Ozfest we saw him, just touring, and then and everyone. I mean, and I think we mentioned this in the first episode or one of the earlier episodes when we were talking about Ozzy in general. Is like today and the last 20 years, everyone knows Ozzy extremely well from the Osbournes reality TV show that was like, funny, hilarious, groundbreaking in terms of reality TV.
Oh yeah.
But before that, I don't think he was in the public zeitgeist as much as he did become after that. And Ozfest was before the Osbournes by, I don't know when the Osbournes started, but I think it was like late 90s or 2000, early 2000s, one of
Yeah.
those.
It was,
But Ozfest really raised his profile because, he was an aging rocker. I mean, he was probably in his 60s back then. Had a huge history and career of Black Sabbath and all of his solo albums as a solo artist. But Ozfest to me really kind of turned him into like this godfather, like
yeah.
overarching figure of metal rock music, that
Yeah.
he was kind of the ushering in all the new bands that were, trying to be like, that old metal sound. And so that concept is really, I mean, and I know Sharon Osbourne was a big part in kind of steering his brand, and raising his
Yeah.
profile. And because I
Which we
think,
found out through the show, and yeah, yeah.
right, she was definitely pulling the strings, and she had the leash on Ozzy to, you know, he never would have done all this on his own volition, like in terms of like
No.
starting a festival or, doing a TV show. That was all her, you can tell. But I mean, to her credit, she
It,
built a powerhouse brand that,
fucking empire, yeah.
doubled, tripled in terms of popularity across every kind of person. Like the show specifically kind of got people
Everybody.
that didn't like metal music at all, never listened to it, to be, this guy's freaking cool and funny and interesting. I'm going to start listening to it and go to his festival. So that, seeing that happen from the time before it wasn't that to the time after, when it was like everybody knew Ozzy, everybody loved Ozzy. So Ozfest, I feel, was that first catalyst to break him into the mainstream in, the biggest possible way. So first year, the main lineup was Ozzy, Slayer, Danzig, Sepultura, Fear Factory, Biohazard, and Neurosis. Um, and yeah, I saw Slayer at one Ozfest. I don't think it was that one because I do not remember I've never seen Danzig, never seen Sepultura, never seen Biohazard or Neurosis. So it must not have been that one. It must have
Yeah.
been a later one. And I'm only saying that because Slayer is the one concert or the one band I've seen that hurt my ears more than any other band I've ever heard. I had to hold my ears, and I've never had to do that. And
Holy shit.
this would have been, I've been to all the other stuff like that, and it was, if you remember going to concerts then, that night driving home, you couldn't hear
Couldn't hear
shit. Your ears
shit.
were
Yeah. If
ringing,
somebody
and the next
honked on you in '94, you're not going to hear it.
the
Like,
day after, it was even worse. So I mean, we were damaging our hearing so badly. There wasn't a single person with earplugs in back then, like there is now, or headphone, noise suppressing headphones. But no, I just wanted to mention that Slayer, I
that's
didn't see them
funny.
in 96, but whenever I saw them in 99 or 2000, it was painfully loud. Like, where
That's funny.
the second stage for 96 was Earth Crisis, which I don't even know. Powerman 5000, which I like a lot. Coal Chamber, I love. And then Cellophane. Never heard of Cellophane. So yeah, it has glimmers of where it was going with, like, because I think Coal Chamber was there every single year after that. Power Man was also there many, many times.
That had to
Uh,
be early in there, like in Powerman 5000. That'd be pretty early for them.
I know, like that's like they were them and Coal Chamber were kind of in that front group of new metal kind of stuff,
Right. Way in
starting
front.
to kind of
Yeah.
come out way ahead
Wow.
of all the others.
Hmm.
Um, Okay, then 97, this is definitely the first one I remember attending. So this is when they got Black Sabbath together. So this was their
Oh,
first reunion of Black Sabbath, and
that
I
was a deal.
definitely
That was a
remember
big
that.
deal.
And Ozzy played on his own as well. Marilyn Manson was there, Pantera, Typo Negative, and Fear Factory. So
Jesus.
that to me, like that main stage lineup is fucking packed with the
That's
best
yeah.
best possible things you could put in there.
That's wild. Yeah.
And then the second stage was Machine Head, Powerman 5000, Cold Chamber, Slow Burn, Drain STH, Downset, Neurosis, and Vision of Disorder.
There's a bunch of those I don't know.
Yeah, I love Downset. But I only knew that from my friend Eric, not Eric Brown, Eric Hansen, that I was in that band with in high school for a
Oh
minute.
yeah.
He turned me on to Downset. I don't know if I saw them because I wasn't leaving that main stage with all those 6, 7
New.
acts. So I probably may have done Cold Chamber, Power Man, or Machine Head, but I don't think I saw any of the others in the second. And that was, if I'm remembering it correctly, um, it was so well organized in the beginning where, because this is a thing, as everyone that's attended a Lala or any kind of giant festival like that, there's way too many bands and not enough time to see all the ones because they
Right.
overlap each other,
You have
or
to schedule your shit. I
yeah,
mean, you have to. I got to jump over here for this and come back for
right.
yeah,
And
which is fun. I mean,
you'll
it's
never
cool.
see every band on the list. And so, but they did it great in 96, 97, 98, at least as far as I can remember, where it was perfectly orchestrated, and they kind of like broke boundaries and invented new ways of doing stage turnovers and
Mm,
as well as traveling with all these stages that kind of had. I remember reading about this or seeing a documentary thing about it where they just it was the smoothest operating machine where they could make this possible. Because if you went like old school traditional crew stage setup, you never would be able to get that many bands equipment all synced up and
yeah,
sound checked. But they did it in such a magical way where you almost could see every band because the first one was on the main stage, and then while they were doing the switchover, the second stage did that band, and then they kept offsetting it where you could almost get a full a
yeah.
full view of their whole set on either side. Then it started to fall apart in the tail end, like 99, 2000, 2001, where they got more bands than like, because this is a pretty doable
That only
list.
works up to a certain number,
Right.
like volume.
And then, and I think they opened a third stage, and then it kind of all went off the rails where
The
you
operations management there changes drastically when you add
right,
another stage, which I'm sure they've figured it out since then. Like enough practice, enough whatever. But yeah, no, that had to be messy at first.
right. It was, I mean,
Surprised the chain management of like that had to be so in depth and had to be so precise and had to work with everybody. All the bands had to be cool with it and sign off. Be like, yeah,
right.
I might not have all of my equipment just because I need it. So yeah, that's a wild thing, and the fact that they got it right, and the fact that even like a two-stage venue can get it right is amazing to me. Like that's
It was. I mean,
fucking
we
amazing.
were lucky. I mean, we were getting more than our money's worth because they
Oh
were
yeah,
able to execute that so
yeah,
perfectly. But I
yeah.
mean, it wasn't without a hitch. I do remember a lot of like little tiny things where like the bands were not going to get their full sound check that they were used to in when
Nope,
they were on a
not
big
possible.
thing. And so that I remember, and you see that a lot now if you go to a modern festival where they just kind of get thrown up there and then they're like, does this work? And so sometimes the
And they
mics
don't
didn't
always
work.
sound like they would want to sound or like how you
Right,
expect them to sound because the 100,000 things that could go wrong or
right.
not be tuned like dialed in. Yeah, it's
Like that.
amazing. I've always that's always fascinated me is like the whoever's running the show of those festivals. Like that's got to be like the hardest shit ever.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate project management project that has to, where you've
There's
got,
technology involved, which is one thing. Then there's the differences in equipment, and then there's then you got to get the bands to be themselves. They got to be cool with
yeah,
the process, and they got to show up on time, and that can't be if they're 2 minutes late. It fucks up
right.
the whole thing. Like that's always been fascinating to me. Like, I would never want that job. There's no way I would do that job for less than
No,
like a million a
it's
year. Like
right because if you do it perfectly, I mean, everybody's happy, but everyone just expects perfection, and so then they're only going to pick up every little mic didn't work for that band, the guitar amp was not kicking out the effects it needed. Like because I that sick new world thing, I've mentioned it before, that Vegas, like
Vegas, yeah.
everybody coming back together, that was a mess in that kind of thing where there was always every band mostly had one sound fuck up or one instrument mic whatever that
It's
was not doing what they wanted. So they were like, for the first song at least, they're always like, pointing at the fucking guy to like raise this or turn this
do
up.
that,
So it
yeah.
was like clockwork.
It's a lofty goal to like pull something
Yeah,
like that off. And then yeah, and when you get in like and we start getting like again, I'm like big personalities. You start pissing these people off, and then it's that's going to drag down the quality or yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a
Some bands were
crazy thing.
more.
I'm surprised that like anybody was ever ambitious enough to try that. And if like Ozfest is one of the first,
Yeah.
like hats off. Like
Well, it's
it's
ultimately a
amazing.
business that
Of
they
course.
take in a lot more money per ticket, obviously, to pay for all the bands. But yeah, the logistics alone of transporting 15 bands worth of shit from town to town, and then being able to construct the stages, have the three, you know, well,
I was thinking more like on a one show, like one event basis. When you start moving the shit to from Chicago to Detroit to St.
right.
Louis, or like that's insane. That like exacerbates all the problems that you should likely encounter, and like so yeah, it's fascinating
That's,
to
I
me.
mean, since you brought that up, I mean, I did look at kind of the history of music festivals in the US, and Lollapalooza is the big kind of first one. And that only started in 91, according to what I looked up just before this. And then Warped Tour was the other one
That was the other
that
big one. Yeah.
sprung to life in 95. And then Ozfest was 96. And I don't know. I mean, because certain ones, like in today's standards, like you got uh, Bonnaroo as an example, or like Burning Man, or but those are in one
One
place
place at one time.
only. Maybe a couple days, 3 days, or whatever. But that to me seems way easier to manage
Way more
logistics and
reasonably.
planning than a traveling show. Like
That's
Ozfest moved
crazy.
around all over the
I
place.
mean, Milwaukee had their thing. We saw Pearl Jam
Yeah,
there. St. Louis had one. We went to a couple times. It was awesome. I forgot what it's called, but but it was localized to that
yeah,
city, and that once a year in July it would come, and then it'd
right.
be over, and then like it would have no connection, nothing to do with the other ones. But the ones that traveled, that's crazy, and
Yeah, I can't. I mean, they must have made money. They wouldn't have done it year after year after year if they were losing money. So
no, well,
hats off to the planning and operating of these mass. I mean, they're kind of
yeah,
like carnivals when it you
that's
know
what that's exactly what it is.
and
Only yeah,
they did have that kind of feel in the beginning. Like there were
yeah.
um, kind of like carny people. I mean, they weren't doing like circus acts and stuff, but they had like kind of like freak show shit that was kind of coming around in the beginning, like on the grounds of the thing, like doing weird, eating fire and, twirling
No
shit
shit.
and stabbing each other with, the people like to hang themselves on like hooks and stuff. So I remember some of that, in the time. So I bet they kind of
Interesting.
joined forces with like carnies because they've been doing that since the dawn of
They
time.
probably taught him some things along the
Right.
way, like
Of how to
how to
like
make the shit work.
buy shit that folds up like this and can, come together really fast. But yeah, it's so but back to the point of the origin of these kind of genre specific recurring festivals. This was a new concept to us in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, old people had Woodstock and those
They
were
had that
kind of
one time, and that was it.
one time
Yeah,
and no warning, like they just kind of came together, and then it was like flyers were thrown
they
about
printed out
and
100
then
flyers and threw them out at the last second. Yeah,
but it was right. It was like they were probably cash grab type things back then, where it's like, all right, how many people can we get to come to this thing and play at the same time, and then how much can we sell a ticket for, and how many people can we jam in the space we have. But that so we were again fortunate to be in the 90s at the age when we could go to concerts and have these amazing collections of bands where you pay one price. And I honestly don't think Ozfest was always one day, right? I'm pretty sure it was a 1 day festival. It wasn't like the Bonnaroos where you had, or Lala's where you had 3 days.
yeah.
And, I mean, it was maybe a couple $100, but which I guess would have been a lot back then. But
It would have been a lot
for
now.
what
Yeah,
for comparing how much you would pay to see Ozzy and Marilyn Manson and Pantera and Typo
type of
Negative,
thing. Yeah,
each of those would have been 50 plus each in 90s currency.
yep.
So you're getting a hell of a deal. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the sets were a little short. I do remember that being one part
No,
of it.
yeah, yeah.
They were
But I
more
mean,
like,
how you can't let them each play like a full concert. That
no,
doesn't
it
that
wasn't.
wouldn't work. They'd have to
It was 40 minutes, maybe
maybe
45, 50 minutes if you had like the top of the main stage list. Like Ozzy definitely probably did an hour. Black Sabbath definitely
sure,
did
but I'm
an
sure
hour.
as I'm sure Typo probably got 30 minutes,
They
maybe.
got a short. Yeah, they had
Yeah,
3 or 4 songs from what I remember
yeah.
in that one, which
Makes sense.
still cool. They
I'm
play the
sure it's
best
fucking.
ones. They,
I'm sure it's awesome. Yeah.
but yeah. So and then I just wanted to read off '98. just because I don't remember this one, but a lot of the bands in 98 came back in the years after because I definitely remember seeing them at a later one. So main stage in 98 was Ozzy, Tool, Megadeth, Limp Bizkit, Soulfly, Seven Dust, Coal Chamber. So now new metal is taking over in 98. Then the second stage was
That's the one I would have
Motorhead.
wanted to go to.
Yeah, well, I saw Tool at one of them, either 2000, 2001, and so that
Oh,
was one of
really?
my first Tool experiences
Oh,
was at
wow.
Ozfest. Um, Second stage was Motorhead, Melvins, Incubus. So this is like because to me, Incubus became so huge to have them on the second stage in '98 is kind
They
of
didn't.
a time capsule of like they were not big yet.
They were not huge yet. They weren't huge until that next album. Yeah.
Right. Um, yeah, Make Yourself, right? I mean, that was
Yeah.
what shot them into the stratosphere. Snot, Ultra Spank. Ultra Spank's one of my favorite bands of all time. I know nobody knows who they are. Life of Agony, Kilgore, Monster Voodoo Machine, and System of a Down. That's another big one. That they were at the
Jesus.
bottom of the second stage in '98.
Another one that didn't break until
Yeah,
2 or 3 years later, maybe with
probably
that.
the Toxicity albums. What
Yeah,
really
that's when. That's
exploded them.
awesome. Holy cow.
But that's a neat kind of framing of bands that were soon because then later, like we're at that Sick New World festival, System was the top band. They were the last headlining band that
Wow.
came to that festival, and I'm pretty
Wow.
sure they were the top of the Ozfests after '98.
Knowing what
After
I know now, like if you put me in a time machine, put me back in that show, like that would have been a scheduling nightmare between the
yeah, right,
stages. Like that would
exactly,
have fucking
because you would have to know those
like
up and
that's
coming
what I'm saying.
bands.
You wouldn't have known then, and you
You would
just saw who you saw. But now, I would have specific things I'd want to see, and it might be impossible. Maybe they're playing at the same time. Like that would have
right,
frustrated me.
yeah. So that
Oh
it's
wow,
such an epic festival to have gone to, and I feel like I went to three. So
wow!
'97 was the first, and then I'll have to look up the other years, but it was probably '99 and 2000 because then I would have went to college, and I wasn't doing that anymore, like because West Lafayette, Indiana,
I'm
didn't
pretty
get out.
sure West Lafayette didn't attract many
No,
festivals. Yeah, nice
so
place, nice little city, but nice little
right,
town. But
it might be
Ozfest was
possible that I went in the summer in 2001 when I came home, but that's about as far as I think I would have
mm,
ridden the Ozfest train.
yeah,
So yeah, if you were lucky enough to go to Ozfest back then, I'm sure you can remember how
that's
epic
cool.
it was.
Yeah,
All right. So next thing we wanted to cover is something I I'm calling the CD shelf timeline. So to open this up, Ryan and I were kind of recounting that this was the period where the buying of music on the CD format kind of became bigger than anything before it, and maybe that's inaccurate. I think CDs and vinyl sales and cassette sales were always big and popular, but CDs to me were I don't know, they just felt like the portability was a bigger factor. I mean, records you couldn't play anywhere but home. Cassettes you could play in the car and at home. CDs um, you could play at home in your car in your
walking
CD
around.
Walkman, which I
Yeah,
guess you could with cassettes. But it just seemed like it was everywhere in terms of CDs were the opportunity to buy CDs was a bigger thing,
I
and
think there
maybe
was
it was
more
just
places you could buy them. Like it
yeah,
felt
like gas
maybe and
stations and
maybe
hardware
not.
stores and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and so what I wanted to do, and I know I've been mentioning this on some of the past episodes. I found my CD collection, so it's here behind me in random piles, and it was hidden in the basement in a storage bin that was lined with DVDs, so you couldn't see the CDs underneath the first layer of DVDs. So they were totally hidden off. I probably haven't dug through them since I moved here, which was in 2019, and even then I was not looking. I haven't listened to a CD in at least that long in terms of put one in a player, because I don't really have a player of any sort, and the cars don't really do them anymore unless you have an old car. But what I wanted to do with this CD shelf timeline is I have mapped out by season for 3 years every at least in the subgenres that we have been talking about in the post grunge successor episode last week, every CD that was released, when it was released, in order. And then what I want Ryan and I to do is say, we bought that. We bought that.
I
Nope,
love it.
never heard of that one. We weren't even following that band. And just to kind of feel like, so this would have been us experiencing the world starting in 94, going to the store, buying the CD, buying the CD, buying the CD. So that's the idea of the CD shelf timeline. Okay, so the CD shelf timeline begins in winter of 94. I'm going to read each season section. And the seasons really don't matter. I just arbitrarily chunked out each year into four
I think it does matter,
seasonal groupings.
especially like in Chicago, seasons
Yeah,
matter. Like they have an effect on your mental
and I
thing.
think
Yeah,
I think
I thought it was a
bands
great way to do this. Yeah,
I think bands must have had some thought behind when they would release an album. I mean, in
I would
terms of
hope so. Like, yeah,
if
I
you
would
were a
hope the
goth, like,
producers or like people that were responsible for releasing music would have taken that in as like
right.
a data point. But
I mean, like they do with movies. When movies are released, you don't release blockbuster movies in January. You do it in the summer, and
right,
things when people are
I'm
more.
sure that's been yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so January 25th, three albums released on the same day: Jar of Flies, Alice in Chains, Cleansing by Prong. Did you listen to Prong yet?
I did. That's nice. It's nice.
And then Snuff the Punk by POD.
Oh
Um,
fuck! Really?
but that's not the POD album that broke them out. Like you
No.
remember that band, right?
Oh yeah, I love
They
POD.
were from Puerto Rico or somewhere in Hispanic speaking country, if I'm
I
remembering
didn't
them
know
correctly.
POD till 2001, but
Yeah,
I
whenever that, what was the one song? Um, I can't remember it.
they had several. I'm a huge
Yeah,
uh,
they probably had two albums with some hits on them, but this was
Downtown. I
way
think was the
before.
first one I heard that I was like, yep, that's it.
Which one?
Downtown, I think it's called.
Okay,
Is it?
yeah,
We'll have to revisit. I love me some POD.
yeah, but this album was before anybody knew who they were, and I'm pretty sure only people that discovered them.
Southtown. Southtown is what it
Yes,
is.
yes, that was the
Yeah,
big one.
yeah.
That was it. Absolutely. But this is kind of like Nirvana Bleach, where nobody bought Nirvana Bleach until they found Nevermind and then went backwards to get it.
That's funny.
Um, Another one on that same date was Too High to Die by the Meat Puppets.
Oh, wow.
Meat Puppets, I don't know if Backwater's on that album. That's the only Meat Puppets song I know. And
Same.
I'm sure you remember Ray Kirby, one of the kids in the neighborhood that was associated with us back then. This is my only story and a known connection to Meat Puppets is his uncle was in some like cover band, and he took me to see his uncle's band, and they played Backwater, and so that was like that was cool. Then I liked the song, but I don't think I bought that album. And then
Right.
two more in this chunk were Dookie Green Day on February 1st, and then I Could Live in Hope by Low. I don't even know that band, so definitely didn't buy that one. So I'm going to recount them, and we're going to
I
say,
had Jar of Flies, no
yeah,
doubt.
Jar Flies we both bought.
I think that's out of scope for this conversation because it's still. I think Dookie is where this starts.
Yeah,
Like,
in terms of, right. But
yeah,
even putting aside our post grunge successors, this was
definitely had.
still in our CD buying habits
Oh
as
yeah,
grunge was waning and these others were taking off. So we can still because there's a lot in '94, like Super Unknown, and all the other things that
Oh
were
yeah.
still coming out. So yeah, Cleansing Prong. I probably didn't buy that on day one, but I definitely owned it after I saw them open for Pantera around this period,
Yep.
'95 maybe. Did not know POD at all. Meat Puppets I didn't buy. Green Day Dookie I definitely bought. Um, and I
I
remember
didn't. I
Green
didn't
Day.
at first. I didn't. There was enough on the radio where I was like, anytime I wanted to listen to Green Day, I just turn on the radio and wait 3 seconds, and there would be a Green Day song. I wasn't a huge Green Day fan for a minute, so I get like, but
If
I
you're
eventually bought the album just because I like collecting things. I like ownership, and I
yeah,
like to like, and I eventually lost everything I ever bought except for like two. Literally, I think I have two CDs now. Lost or sold or just whatever. But Dookie I had, I didn't buy it in. I didn't buy it in '95. Maybe I did. I bought it in '95. So it came out in
yeah,
'94. You said?
'94 in
Oh wow.
January or February.
Oh,
And
interesting.
if you remember Matt Rupert, who was one of my close friends from first grade that also lived in the adjacent neighborhoods where we grew up, I caught a lot of music from him. Like he was like it was in my grade, but he was technically a year older than me because he was you know in school too long. And I distinctly remember him playing Dookie, and that's where I got into it. And there's tons on this list. Like he introduced me to Ministry and KMFDM and probably Nine Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson, and so like he was a very huge influencer of this exploding kind of stuff that was coming out in those early years. So I definitely owe him a debt of gratitude for all of that. Okay, spring '94. We have March 1st, Mellow Gold from Beck. So that was his
Yes.
first album. And instead of recounting the list, let's just do it one by one.
Let's do it.
So I bought this one,
I
and
had it at some point. Probably
and
not then, but I definitely had it.
I bought it solely after seeing the Loser video on MTV. That
Yep.
was what made me buy that one.
And
And this,
that's another like, and I hate to take us off track, just like, but that was one of those things, like one of the nuances of CDs buying was like you took a gamble.
yeah,
You heard loser and you're like, shit, yeah. And you spent 14 to 18 bucks on it, which is what, 30 bucks now, 35 bucks. So you had to like, and what we were making 4.75 an hour doing whatever we were doing, like you had to be, you had to like, I'm like the Columbia House. It was, let's say that was in the past. Maybe it wasn't at the time, but like you had to be selective, like with what you could literally afford to buy. And like you heard one song and you're like, yep, and bought it. If you ever
right.
heard two songs, done deal. You're in the car. You're going to get it. Back, yeah. When I heard Loser, I bought that album. I don't remember any of the rest of it though.
I don't think there was. I mean, they're probably all okay,
I might not have given. I might not have listened.
right?
It might have been like my 15 bucks, my 40 bucks in today's dollars. That song was good enough for it. Like,
Right.
so that was just a little thing. But yeah, keep
I
going. Definitely
and
had
I
it.
have a very distinct memory of MTV because they used to just be straight videos, but then in the '90s they started kind of carving out, or I guess Headbangers Ball was in the late '80s, but stuff like that where then they'd have like the next hour is you know
This.
indie or alternative or
Yeah.
and then they would
Oh, that was so
specifically
good. It
but
was so good when they did that. Yeah.
and so this I remember three distinct. So this was like it must have been when they were first, or I was first catching one of these like showcase subgenre, like we're going to show you this brand new artist that's alternative or is indie or something. And they played Loser, they played Creep by Radiohead, and
It's a good grouping.
it might have been the B Girl, um,
Oh fuck, Blind Melon.
Blind Melon. So like it was those kind of bands, which were all first debut albums from all three of those,
Yep.
and and the songs and videos were good enough to where I'm pretty sure I bought Pablo Honey Radiohead And
I bought the other one too. I bought the Blind Melon one.
right. So, and your point, I mean, I think you were better at this, and we talked about this when we did Stone Temple Pilots and all the other big five, where I would see a song, hear a song I liked, buy the CD, and only listen to that song.
We were hit whores. No, I was not any better than you. Not at all. I was
But
just
you,
a hit whore. That's what we
yeah,
were.
yeah, and
That's what
and
we were
so,
for years to come. Like, yeah.
but yeah, it didn't matter because if that video or that one song was good enough, you got our money, and there was no returning CDs, so you could just
Yeah.
dealt with it. Okay, there's some bangers coming up here. March 8th, Super Unknown Soundgarden. Definitely bought that one because of Black Hole Sun or Spoon Man on video. Downward Spiral, Nine Inch Nails, same date, March 8th.
Once I heard Closer, that was enough for
Yeah,
me. I didn't even need to hear Hurt or, whatever the next one. It would have been Hurt. Would have been the next
yeah.
big one.
Um,
But yeah.
that,
Definitely. I
yeah,
bought
that,
that one early. I remember buying that one early.
yeah.
Yeah.
That song
Probably
is
earlier
still
than any. Yeah.
closer, even when I hear it today. It just sounds otherworldly. How
Because it is. It's
it's
unbelievable.
right
The rest of
sonically.
the
It's
album, like I never in the time period, I didn't listen to. I listened to that, and then when Hurt came on the radio, I was like, "Oh shit, this one's on there too." Now I
I know.
can listen to this one for 10 minutes instead of five. Like, and I never got into the other ones till way later. When
Yeah,
I matured and did that. But yeah, I bought that one earlier than any you've said so far. I
yeah,
remember.
for sure. March 22nd, Far Beyond Driven Pantera. I definitely was way into them and bought that one
I
pretty
wasn't,
immediately.
but you were. So I don't think I ever bought that one, honestly.
It's blue, got a cool like
No, I
monster.
know, I no, or yeah, no, I recall what it is. I don't think I
Yeah,
ever owned it.
such a good
Oh,
one.
oh.
March 22nd as well. Hints, Allegations, and Things Left Unsaid by Collective Soul. That was
Bought that
definitely
one.
one we
Bought that
both.
one because of Shine. Bought that
Yep.
one for sure.
April 8th, Smash the Offspring. That was definitely one I bought
Like
pretty
the
immediately
one,
after
yeah,
hearing it.
that one I remember distinctly where I was when I was Circuit City in Gurnee. Bought that one, came out with that one and another one, because I only had $26. That was one of them, and yeah, I loved that one.
So good. April 18th, His and Hers by Pulp. So this is Brit pop. I wasn't into Brit pop yet. Never listened to Pulp at all. April 25th was Park Life by Blur, another Brit pop band. I was not aware.
Still to this day, not don't know what it
I
is yet.
really I've listened to that album when in prep for that last episode we did, and it's a great album. It's like it's very Bowie, like he's trying to sound like Bowie in some of his earlier. So I loved it, and I probably would have been into it if I was
Right.
exposed to it, but
We
it
were
was not.
not exposed to any of that shit
No, it was
until
totally off.
Champagne Supernova came out
Right.
years later. Like, yeah,
Yeah, MTV had a blind spot for all these, I think. So
huge, huge,
that was
huge.
our main line. Okay, two more. April 26th, Throwing Copper Live. That was absolutely in our
Definitely bought that.
household from my mom minutes after it was released. Because it was
Oh, Minutes. Yeah, I had that one early too.
because that had a lot of hits on it.
Actually, when it came out of that Circuit City, going to the parking lot, it might have been Offspring and Live that it came out with.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they're both April, so that would have made sense for in the new release section in that time period.
It didn't take me long to. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would have bought that. I bought that one early.
Yeah,
I
you were probably
loved it.
spending your birthday money, April 8th, 26. You would have
Yeah.
just had your birthday.
Yep. Yeah, from all my birthday cards, but $45 went right to fucking CDs, no doubt about it.
And the last one in this season is State of the World Address by Biohazard. I I found Biohazard again through Eric Hansen in my band in the late 90s, but not here. So
No, I
that was
missed out
not
on that.
discovered. Okay. Summer 94, June 7th, Purple by Stone Temple Pilots. We both have already talked. We had that one. June 14th, Let's Go Rancid. I
Never gone to them.
I don't think I bought it. I definitely must have borrowed it though, because I do remember giving it a real college try and kind of liking it. But like, and this was like to me, Green Day was the wedge to get non-punk people into punk because it's very fun and
It's more
well
accessible than
produced.
Then
and
Rancid, yeah,
very melodic. And
yeah,
so yeah, then when I went to Rancid, I was like, is it like Green Day? And it's not. It's more, your rougher kind of punk.
raw, more raw.
And so I wasn't into it back then. June 28th, Welcome to Sky Valley by Kyuss. I don't know how to say that band. Kyuss. I feel like an idiot for not knowing how to say that, but never listened to them, never
Never
gave
heard
them
of
any
that one.
shot. Um, Deconstruction. Have you ever heard of that band? They had a self-titled album in July 12th. They're alternative experimental. I need to go find these because I'm like, I probably would like this, but never heard of that one. Rotting Pinata by Sponge.
Ah,
I think I own this one, but I
I
did like
didn't.
a few songs, Plowed and 16 Candles or Molly Ringwald, whatever the name of it was. Um, but no, I didn't buy it.
No, I didn't. I don't think I
August
did
9th.
later on, but
Yeah.
not anywhere near. I mean, I'm talking like 2004. Like
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah.
Sponge, I heard Sponge on the radio. I heard Plowed on the radio. I was like, fuck no. Or by then,
Yeah.
I probably could have just downloaded it. So I might never have owned that CD.
Yeah, I definitely don't think I bought that one. August 9th, my birthday, Burn My Eyes, Machine Head. I had that one. I don't think it was that early, but
Yeah.
I think I kind of had them they opened for somebody. And so that was where I kind of got exposed. August 23rd was Rubberneck by the Toadies.
Oh,
I think I only borrowed Tomasello's album for that one. I don't think I
I
ever
might have
actually
owned
owned
that
it.
just because I like that song and just
Right.
caught it on a sale or something. Maybe it's a Columbia House. No, did I have? I think I had that one
Yeah,
somehow.
I think I just borrowed it or listened to it with Joe. August 23rd, Grace by Jeff Buckley. I didn't discover him until long after he was dead, later in the 90s. August 30th, definitely maybe Oasis. I really liked Live Forever
Ah,
when I saw it, and I bought this album solely on hearing that. So that was my
really?
first Brit pop before the big one, before What's the Story, Morning Glory.
Wonderwall and fucking
Right. That
wow,
was the second
really
album. So I
interesting.
was into them. But again, I only listened to that song, even though there are many
There's some
other
good
great
songs on
songs.
that one that I didn't recognize till 2006. Like,
Right.
but wow, yeah, no, I still hadn't heard of them by then.
Yeah, I love that sound.
That is a great song. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Good one. Wow.
August 30th, Betty by Helmet. I definitely didn't own that, but I kind of remember that band. Okay. I'm speeding it up because we're still only in the
Yeah,
first year.
we're
We
about
got
an
to hurry
hour.
it up.
We keep
So this
moving.
is fall, winter, September 19th, the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. I have it here. So I definitely bought that one.
It's a good one.
It
Yeah,
is. It's got all the surf rock and
it's
just
got that
funny,
fun.
kind of
Yeah, it's weird.
interesting.
It's got some weird. Yeah, it's good.
September
Say that for the
27th is
soundtrack episode.
Monster by REM. I bought that one for sure.
Bought that one for sure.
September 27th, Chocolate and Cheese by Ween. I used to hate Ween back then.
I hated
I've, I've,
Ween.
I've come around to sort of listen to it sometimes, but they were so annoying back then, like
Oh, I hated them.
trying to be
I
counterculture. And
can go ahead and say I still to this day don't like
yeah,
them.
I have to be in a really weird mood for me to even think of absorbing it. But
I'll
October
give them a
4th,
shot. It's been 20 years since I've tried, but
right?
like, you know,
They have some kind of progressive rock stuff later on, which I've been able to kind of get into, but I don't know if this first album I haven't tried in a long time. October 4th, Danzig 4 by Danzig. I
I
was
didn't
not.
have it, but I liked watching songs or I like listening to the songs on the radio and watching the videos and stuff, but I didn't buy
I
it.
only know Mother and maybe one other
That
song that he did on
that's
his
all I
own.
yeah. Didn't never that one I liked, not enough to buy the album though.
Right.
That's why I didn't buy the album.
October 11th is Korn's first album. That one I have over here. So
I didn't buy that till way later.
this was a girlfriend turning me on to that band, and it was in this, I guess 95 is when that would have happened. So I probably didn't have this one on day one because nobody knew them really until they started to get some popularity. Okay, same date, October 11th, Unplugged in New York with Nirvana. That was a pretty monumental
Wow.
album that everybody bought.
Everybody had that one.
And then next two are obvious. November 22nd is Vitology by Pearl Jam. Yes, we had that one.
The only album I ever bought on the first day.
I remember Christmas. So I think I must have got that for Christmas that year because I remember, or no, when did Merkenball come out? That might have been the part because that came right after Vitology, right?
Yeah, I
With
think
Long
so.
Road and I Got
I got
Kid or
it.
shit or whatever. Um, I just have this very distinct moment, and that we already said it, and with my Beavis and Butthead slippers when we had the Beavis and Butthead thing. But I think it might have been Merkenball was because yeah, I don't think I waited from November 22nd
I think
till
we went
Christmas.
together and both bought a copy of
Yeah,
it.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
So Merkenball must have been what my parents had found me for Christmas that year. Okay, December 6th, big one, 16 Stone Bush. So
I didn't
yes,
buy that. Your
thanks to my
mom
mom,
gave it to
we had
me.
it.
Your mom gave it to me for free, which I was like, yes, thank you. She gave one to everyone in the neighborhood. Is some my memory. I could be wrong, but I just remember that. But yes, Bush. I definitely
Yeah,
owned it.
must have been because they were British, and she was proud that the British were coming back with music that was likable for young people in America or something. But yeah, I remember her doing this. I don't remember her giving copies to people, but I do remember her circulating it, like playing it all the time, everywhere in the car, in the house, and then just talking about it. Like you got to hear this, you got to hear this. So okay, moving into '95. This is where things start to get a little more splintery. So January 23rd, Wither, Blister, Burn, and Peel by Stabbing Westward. Yes, that was purchased
I
very
didn't buy it at
closely
the
around that
time.
period.
Yeah, you did have it at the time.
It was well, this. I think I mentioned this one last time. This was a high school conversation.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
sure. I
yeah.
mean, maybe junior year, which would have been '96, not '95, but yeah. So very adjacent to when it came out fresh.
Such a good album.
February 7th is Life is Peachy by Korn. So after being in that Korn, world, going to see Korn back then, this was definitely one that was picked up, and I did find it in my pile, but I'm missing the front sleeve. I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? Yeah. March 13th, The Bends by Radiohead. I was not into Radiohead yet. Well, except I lie. I liked Creep, but
Everybody
I
liked
don't like.
Creep. I didn't buy the album off that though, and that's one of my biggest disappointing. Not that I would have listened to any other song,
Yeah, I don't think it
so
would
I
have
don't beat myself up
resonated.
too much for it. But like that should have been good enough of a song to force me to buy an album. I must have been like
Right.
that.
Because The
Not.
Bends Now is one of my favorite albums
Oh
of all
my
time.
god,
In
yeah,
terms of every track, it's an experience to go all the way
it's an
through.
experience. Yeah, they're all
But
yeah.
it wasn't for me back then.
It
Um,
wasn't. We were. I don't know if we were mature enough or fucking whatever, but yeah,
Probably not. I mean, it's very emotional type music that
yeah.
would be lost on a teenager. March 13th is Elastica's first album. My mom had that one. That's all I remember. March 14th was Collective Soul's second one, which was self titled. This is the blue
The
one. I
blue
have it
one.
over
I had that
here.
one. I had that one.
We both, yeah, I think we got on board on that first album. So the second one was an instant,
That was
definitely
an
like a
instant
Circuit City
classic.
visit or
Oh,
um,
absolutely. Maybe it was. Yeah, 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 yeah.
March 28th is King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime by Faith No More. I was not into them at that point, so I didn't buy
Oh,
that. April 11th was Astro Creep 2000 White Zombie. That was absolutely one that I was so into. And I'm pretty sure that was the first. I didn't do La Sexoristo, the earlier album,
I didn't
which
either.
had Black Sunshine and, a couple other Thunder
Nope.
Kiss
That
65
was the
songs.
on ramp, and
Yeah. Then I went
one of
back.
my yeah. This will then we'll get into our top whatever
Right.
that makes another appearance. Let's.
April 18th, Neil by KMFDM. That I bought for sure, and that was through Matt because
Oh
he
wow!
totally turned me on. And it's right here, and it's still one of my favorite albums. So I don't know if you like industrial, like heavy industrial, but that album is my favorite KMFDM ever, and you should check it out. May 2nd was Short Bus by Filter. That was a purchase
I
because
had
of that
that one.
song.
Yeah.
May 16th was Tales from the Punch Bowl by Primus. I don't think I was into Primus then. I know you don't like Primus at all, right? So um,
Didn't have that one. No.
I liked the video. This was the
The videos, yeah, they had some interesting videos. I'll give them that, but the music, I couldn't.
Winona's Big Brown Beaver with like the Duracell weird
That's a
people.
really weird, fun video, but yeah,
Yeah,
I couldn't get into it.
but I don't remember buying it. This next one, May 23rd, Dopes to Infinity, Monster Magnet. Do you remember
Monster
Monster Magnet?
Magnet. I
It's
didn't come on to them till probably 99, 2000. But
really,
oh yeah, I know who Monster Magnet
'cause
is.
I'm pretty sure this is the album that Space Lord is on, and that
Oh
they
yeah,
had a cool video,
oh, it
and
was
he had a
excellent.
cool look.
Yep,
And I remember, I think I bought the CD, and I remember it not being good past that song. Like it was one of those where it was just that was it, and there was no. I
that was the
mean,
gamble. Some of you gambled,
this
some of
was
you
a
won,
loss
some of you.
because I don't think I have it anymore, which means I probably sold it for $1 at
Pawn
Music
shop.
Recyclery,
Yeah,
or
music recycling. Fuck.
because yeah, I was not happy with that one.
Music recycling. Holy shit.
May 23rd was Clutch's first album. I did not know Clutch.
I didn't either.
I did learn to like them later on through some other random things, but didn't have any clue who they were. Okay, summer, June 12th, Demanufacture Fear Factory. That one I have here. So I definitely bought that one.
I did not, but
Yeah, I don't. I think I exposed you later on,
you did. Yeah, the
but
KMFDMs, the Fear Factories, the cold chambers. I learned all that from you.
yeah.
Yeah.
June 13th, Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette. My mom had that one, and so I heard it ad nauseum in the house.
I don't know
Um,
about that one.
June 20th was Frog Stomp Silverchair. That
I had that
was
one.
absolutely because of Tomorrow on MTV. That was an instant buy, and most of that album is pretty fantastic.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Foo Fighters' first album was July 4th. I did buy that one because I was still
Hanging
wanting
on.
Nirvana
Yeah.
maybe to still be in there a little bit, and it
I
wasn't. I
think
mean,
I had that one. Yeah.
they had two. I Stick Around was one of those on the first album, which I did like. I can't remember if there was another big one. July 25th, Sparkle and Fade by Everclear. I,
I didn't buy it. I almost did probably though,
yeah,
but I didn't.
I don't
Yeah.
think I bought that one.
Yeah.
I kind of, I kind of disposed of them. Like in the early days, I always kind of thought it was a little
You could
annoying.
tell it was
Yeah,
just like one hit kind of thing.
right. Well, every song, I mean, they've had multiple hits, but they're hard to tell apart because he just has the
It's the
same
same
voice,
song. It's the same song. Yeah.
same chords. I'm not saying I hate him, but
Yeah.
I just didn't feel I needed the album because it was all over the place and all sounded the same. August 15th was Garbage's first album. I'm pretty sure I got my mom to thank for every female artist that came out in the 90s,
I had that
and
one. I had that
making
one.
me, fall in love with a bunch of them. So, but I personally didn't own Garbage's first album.
I think I had that one.
I think the second one I did,
Oh,
the
maybe
version
that's what I'm
volume
thinking.
2 or version 2, whatever, because that one, because the first one just said I'm only happy when it rains and maybe a couple, but the second one had like tons of big songs. Um, August 22nd was Resident Alien by Space Hog. That was another one I bought, but it was like Monster Magnet, where that's the only one on the CD.
I
That's
held off on that one, and sounds like that was the right decision.
yes, I don't have it anymore, so it got pawned somewhere. September 12th, One Hot Minute, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I definitely remember buying that one when it came out because it was a big deal that they had a lineup change with Dave Navarro joining. And
Oh,
and there were quite a few good songs on that one. My Friends, I really liked that
oh
one.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah, I had that one. I had that one too. Then yeah,
yeah, it had like didn't have like
my
kind of
friends was the big
cartoonish.
one, right?
What what what
My
what?
friends was the
That
rated
was
like
the
the one you
big
heard. Yeah,
first
that.
the first hit from that one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think there were a couple others,
yeah.
but
I had that one.
September 26th was A Boy Named Goo by Goo Goo Dolls. I definitely didn't like Goo Goo Dolls back then. I still barely like them now, but some of the songs are pretty cool.
Yeah, some of them are really
October,
cool.
what?
Some of the songs are really cool, but not nearly enough to justify buying an album.
Yeah, it was. I mean, these were the radio songs, so you wouldn't,
And the radio songs were, yeah, those no,
you didn't need to buy it because you
never
just
would
had the
have
radio
bought.
on and it was always on. So October 2nd was "What's the Story, Morning Glory" by Oasis. So that was, I'm pretty sure, um, since I bought the first one, the second one was even more compelling to buy.
And that one's outstanding. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
that's
think I
my
did
favorite
buy that one.
one.
I think I did at the time. I mean, later on when I finally got into that genre, I bought all of them. But I,
I feel like my brother Dave was really into that one, and he was the driving, you know,
yeah,
exposing the other tracks on it, if I'm remembering it right.
there's a
There's
yeah, there are yeah, there's a bunch.
October 3rd was Adrenaline by Deftones. I didn't buy it quite that early, but it was one of the first. So this was probably when I was in that band in high school with Eric, Nick, and can't remember that girl's name, but that would have been when. So a couple years after this, I would have bought that one. October 10th was Insomniac by Green Day. I wasn't really into. I liked Dookie a lot, but I didn't follow the band. So this is where I started leaving behind pop punk
Yeah,
and just
same
kind of
here.
liked the old stuff. October 10th as well is Tragic Kingdom by No Doubt. This was in my household, but I was not a huge. Well, I think that would be a lie to say I didn't like it at the time. I kind of, was bobbing my head to it, but it
We
wasn't.
didn't. I don't think we bought that one. Like,
No, I wouldn't have spent money on it,
no,
and
and that
didn't
mattered
really.
then. Yeah, no.
October 24th, this was a pretty huge one. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by Smashing Pumpkins. So that I have a weird relationship with them, because I remember getting into them with Disarm, whatever album Disarm is on. I don't even remember.
Siamese Dream.
Yeah, so that would have been the first one I bought was Siamese Dream, and I didn't
I didn't
absorb the
like
whole
the
album.
radio songs. I don't know which one. I don't know which one it was, but whatever one they threw on the radio first was like, was it? It wasn't 1979 or
No, that was I think it was Bullet with Butterfly
it
Wings was
was,
the
and I
first
didn't
one.
like that off
Right,
the
it's
bat.
not the strongest one.
But I eventually did own the album. Right?
Right, it was
Not then, but
a major one.
yeah, yeah.
November 1st was Incubus's first album, which is called Fungus Among Us, which is before Science,
Way
and I
before,
didn't know them
and way
then.
before the next one that my on ramp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. November 7th, Alice in Chains self-titled came out, so we still have these grunge people doing their thing. Um, November 7th is Osmosis from Ozzy,
Had
which
that one.
was groundbreaking for us. And then that's it. So now we're going into 96. I will try to fast forward as much as I can.
Just got to go. Yeah, we got to get
Um,
to the
Down on the
rankings.
Upside came out in 96. That's kind of the end of the big grunge releases. Roots by Sepultura. I was not into Sepultura much and didn't buy that one. Evil Empire by Rage Against the Machine. That was absolutely a buy on day one because it was very anticipated,
I
and was all
I
over
totally missed out on it. Yeah.
101. Remanufactured by Fear Factory. I have that one. That was kind of like a remixed version, or some. I
Yeah,
don't even remember what it was, but I still bought it. Then May 7th was The Great Southern Trendkill by Pantera. That was absolutely bought on the first day.
we had that one.
Um, there was another Blur album, The Great Escape in May. I still didn't know Blur. Going into the summer, Odelay by Beck. I did not buy that one. That one had Where It's At, which I still kind of hate.
I don't like
That
that.
song.
Yep, it's more annoying than anything else.
Yeah,
It's
I just
like,
can't stand it. So that was when I kind of said no thanks to Beck.
yep.
Um, June 25th was Dust by the Screaming Trees. Didn't know that much. Next one was huge, thanks to my mom. July 23rd was Tidal by Fiona Apple. I think, but I didn't. I mean, You remember my mom? Like, you weren't always around for the weekends when we would do our chore camps, as we used to call it, where
Probably
we had
that's
like
probably why I
4 straight
wasn't.
hours of music blasting, and then we had to do various cleaning chores,
Oh, it's
and
awesome.
so this is why I liked all this stuff, because it was like, forced into my brain against my will, like over and
Yeah.
over. And
No, and
eventually
that's
you
a
start
thing. That's a real
finding
thing.
melodies and remembering songs, and you're like, okay, I like this. But I didn't buy this. My mom listened to it. And then when I went away to college, for whatever reason, I had this one with me. And that was when I really truly like embraced it as my own relationship with it, not as my
Yeah.
mom's music. Um, July 30th, Sublime's self-titled album came out. So this is the one with the big the back with the tattoo on it, not the earlier one. And I was way into Sublime through high school connections. July 30th was Alice in Chains MTV Unplugged, which was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
August 13th was Super Sexy Swingin' Sounds by White Zombie. That was one I bought, but I don't remember liking it that
It
much. It's
is
like,
fucking awesome. I love it.
you love that one?
Love it.
It
It's
was
weird and it's like techno White Zombie and
This
it's
was his
amazing.
transition to being Rob Zombie and getting
Yeah.
away
Oh,
from
oh yeah, totally.
the roots
It's
of White
with the hot
Zombie.
chick on the cover doing the thing. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that fucking album. That one
And
connected.
then next one, August 20th, October Rust, Typo Negative.
Pretty sure I had that one. I don't. Did I? Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Bloody Kisses territory with that
No,
album.
that one. Yeah, no. I bought that one really early.
Yeah. And then
That might be
January
one. Yeah, that might be
27th,
part of it.
the one we talk about all the time, No Code, Pearl Jam. So I guess, yeah, well, I guess that, again, we marked down on the upside as kind of the last one. And I guess that tracks because this wasn't really grunge anymore. It was something else that
It
we couldn't
was.
identify.
It was.
Um, August 27th, Fashion Nugget by Cake. I,
One I wish I would have bought. Didn't.
I
I
don't
don't
think I
think I
did.
ever did. I think it was streaming time before I really got into them, like
Right.
properly.
September 13th was Super Buick by Mushroom Head. I think that was an earlier album of theirs, not the one that they blew up with.
Not the
So I
big one. Yeah, not the one
didn't
I would
know
have
them.
heard. Yeah.
September 17th, Anima by Tool, however you want to pronounce it. That was one I purchased because of people at school telling me I needed to purchase it.
I might have purchased that one before you.
For you, I
I don't
bet you
know.
did. You've always been ahead of the game with Tool.
Yeah, for some
Um,
reason I don't know where or how, but yeah, that one.
September 24th, Pinkerton Weezer. So I used to despise Weezer back then. It wasn't until went to college
I
and I
like
got
Weezer.
really deeply exposed to it that I then loved,
I like Weezer.
the Blue Album and
I
the
didn't
Pink.
like it at the time though.
No, it was
Yeah.
it had a nerdy kind of vibe attached to it, and it was very commercial radio. So as we
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the nerdiness that bothered me. It was the commercial. It just
right,
felt surface level, but like it wasn't. Like if you listen to it now, yeah.
yeah, I don't know why I missed it, but
I don't know how that happened either,
it
but
was not on
I get it.
my shelf for a very long time. October 8th, this was a big one for me. Antichrist Superstar Marilyn Manson. That
Oh
was
yeah,
absolutely a day one. Um,
yeah, definitely. That one's underrated as shit. I think.
yeah,
Like
it's
the songs
unbelievable.
that people don't know are very, very good.
And there's a couple in here which these must have been. So there's a Slipknot album that came out in '96.
Way too
Meet,
early for
Feed,
me.
Kill, Repeat. That was not the one that they blew up with. I don't remember what
98,
that was.
99 was probably the first time I actually
Yeah.
heard of them.
So that I'm interested to know what was on that, if anything. And then there was a Stained album,
Oh
Tormented.
wow.
That I think Break the Cycle was the name of their big one, right? With the
They had
first
one, but
few.
what was the one? What was it called?
This is Tormented, which I don't think I've ever heard
They
or
had
listened.
one after that before Break the Cycle.
Oh, really?
That was the biggish one. Yeah, we'll get
Is Break
into
the
that.
Cycle not the one that had their first hits? Like like
The
Mud
first
Shovel. Like Mud
Mud
Shovel's.
Shovels. No, Mud Shovels on. I don't think it's Break the Cycle. I think it's on the one before that.
Okay, then the one before that is the one I'm
Yeah,
trying to.
that's the one you're thinking of. It came out like 98, 99.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell?
Um, okay. A little more left, and we are a little short on time.
Yeah. You
January
want to just
7th.
jump into the rankings? And I mean, we've covered a big piece of it. Or how
Yeah,
do you want
I think
to
we should.
proceed?
Well, I want to do my guitar too.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that. We're going to do rapid fire. So, next section is a sampling of songs I'm going to play that I remember learning. And I want Ryan to guess which one it is.
That's so
So,
much pressure.
I'll play a little bit of each. I'm not going to play very full versions. So, ready? Here's the first one.
Keep them separated.
Okay.
That's the Green Day. That's when I come
Yeah.
around. Yeah. That's probably one of the first things I learned how to play on guitar too. Like
It's dead easy, right?
it's so easy. Yeah, yeah.
Power chords all in a nice little line. It's all right. Next.
Dude. Oh, I wish I knew the. What does he say?
Make up your mind.
Make up your mind. Yes, it's that. I don't know who's saying it. I
It's Toadies.
Tony's fine.
Okay.
Great song. Is that Rage?
What'd you say?
Is that Rage?
No.
What is that?
Pantera, I'm broken.
Oh.
It doesn't sound as good on an acoustic.
No, that's not that. That's trickier. Got
Okay,
it.
ready? Here's one that also probably won't sound as good, but
Smashing Pumpkins.
what'd you say?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes. 0.
There's the Rage. Got it.
Here's a good one.
It's a band I don't think we've talked about yet. That's
No, we haven't.
Ramstein. Yeah. Is that
Rammstein?
is that Du Hast or is that
Yes, Du
yeah.
Hast.
That's Bush.
All right.
You can play that whole song all the way through. Though. That's Candlebox left me far behind. Far behind. Awesome. Wow. You're
Um,
just churning these out. Just off the top of your head. That's
I have a
crazy.
list, but yeah, I'm playing them by memory.
Still. That's so easy.
Do you remember this one?
I do.
When I came to visit you at ISU, I played this one, and we all sang it.
That's
We were
right.
shit faced with your whole house full of weird people.
I had
that were all
800
partying.
people in the house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it like 02, 01? Yeah.
it was halfway through my produce. O2 sounds right. Okay, couple more. You need more? Nothing?
Sounds like Nirvana.
Yes, it's Nirvana Unplugged.
Oh, okay.
About a girl.
Literally the first song I learned how to play. I was like, that's it. But I was like, that came out in 91. Okay. Good one.
Okay, here's a fun one. Still a bitch to play.
Oh, no, that's a pain in the ass to play. That was one I tried to play. That's Metallica a little bit. Is that King Nut or I don't know. What's it called?
You were close. Hero for a Day.
Here for a Day. Yeah.
Um, Sorry, this is too fun. I'm gonna keep going.
Drop D, it's Tool.
We're in the drop D territory, so
These
you're in.
actually hopefully should.
No, not half set down. Apologies.
I'm having a brain fart. I've heard this song a trillion times.
It's grunge, so it's going into the. I learned all these grunge songs in '94 to '97.
See, my brain
Spoon Man.
shifted. I'm post grunge, so
It's Spoon Man.
it's Spoon Man.
Okay, ready?
Cable Guy soundtrack. Thanks for the booth.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
And my all-time favorite by them to play is.
Oh.
46 and
Cool. I
2.
never tried to play that one. I've tried to play a lot of those. That one I don't think I ever tried to
I
play.
think it's the bass I'm playing too.
I think, yeah, well, yeah.
But it's
They
so
have
fucking
instrument.
sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, this one.
Beautiful
Got it?
people. Beautiful people.
Yeah. And this one I'm gonna fuck up for sure because it's hard.
Foo Fighters?
What?
Is that Foo Fighters?
Yeah.
Oh man. Good job. Wow.
Monkey Ranch.
They have some fun ass songs to play.
Yeah,
I'll give Foo Fighters. Say whatever you want about Foo Fighters. Some of their shit's incredibly fun to play.
It's energetic for guitar players.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
from a guitar standpoint for sure.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing. That was
some
fun.
random ones in there. Got me.
Okay,
Spoon Man was not ready for Spoon Man.
Yeah, throwing in some. I mean, and that's the thing. I started learning to play guitar in 1994.
Right.
So I had to catch up to learn all the grunge from the prior few years and then all the new currently emerging stuff.
And then Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd.
Yeah, right. Then going Pink
yeah.
Floyd and all the ancient stuff my parents liked. Okay, let's close it out with, and this was impossible.
This was insane. When you first proposed this idea, I'll say this. Like, I was thinking, like, you know, I was like, oh man, we got like, you know, we talked last time about how grunge splintered off into 7 to 10 kind of factions. Not splintered off, but it became bigger. And then, you know, then there were still bands doing things, you know, that were outside of that. We're talking like 50 to 60 bands and like 70 to 80 albums and like 1,800 songs. So this is a comical like exercise, but I mean, I did my best to come up with answers. So yeah,
I think you brought this up, so it's your fault to add this to the segment. But so the goal was to pick the top 5 albums and the top 5 songs from this post grunge period, and thankfully I found my CDs. So I that's what I did last night. I segregated every CD that was from this period and I laid them all on the floor. And then I basically just did if my house was burning and I could only pick 5, that's what they're going to be.
Yeah.
And
That's where I got to too. And I was limiting. And then I texted you, I think last night. I was like,
yeah,
are we talking about like 94 to 97, in these? You're like, no, anything that's just not grunge is like, fuck.
right.
So, but yeah, after you said that, it made it easier. But I think I might have a surprise in there too. But so
I
I got you
bet
at the album level and the song level. I basically took my albums and picked my favorite song off the album because I mean we're talking 1,800 songs, like so
yeah.
to rank
I
those.
went. I mean, I think for the albums I feel more comfortable with because the five I picked are all like top, like Mount Rushmore type albums for me. And
Exactly.
so,
And
like,
some of the shit I left off of this like makes me sick. Like,
yeah, I know. No, I
so
know.
this will be interesting to see where we go with this.
And then I tried to do a similar thing for songs where it wasn't necessarily because I don't think there's much. I mean, a little bit, a
I,
couple
I
from the
couldn't.
albums where I picked a song,
I
but
would need
most of them
years.
were just songs that were so just they blew up, and then every time you hear it, you get like goosebumps, and you still like have a real strong association to every time you hear it. So that's what I kind of used for my song metric. So okay, let's do one and one back and forth. So you go first, and these are not in 1 through 5 order. I'm not even gonna do
Oh,
that.
oh, thank God. Okay. Well, I did
Yeah,
mine. I actually did get down to that level, so I will do that.
I
Album,
couldn't further. Yeah, we're starting with albums. So you give me your first one.
Astro Creep 2000.
Nice. I have a song from that in my songs,
Oh wow.
but I did not pick that album. Tool Anima is one of my five. Is
Mine
that
too.
one of your five?
It's number one. Yeah. I mean, it's not close. Like I almost just talk them, like put them out of the conversation, but clearly they're number one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's your next one?
Osmosis.
That was one that I cried that I couldn't put it in.
Oh fuck! Wow. I'm a little surprised there.
I
This is
know, but
good.
well, I can't knock any of these five off for that one. So that okay, Bush 16 Stone is my second one.
That was one I had on the original list before you opened up the world, and it got cut
Okay.
from my list. All right, so my third one, I think is going to be a surprise because I don't think we've talked about it at all.
Okay.
It's Finger 11 Tip,
Yes. What year did that come out?
97, I think.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Huge one.
But yeah, not on my list. Yeah, we need to dedicate some specific time on them. Like
We absolutely do. After that they went on to create two or three
yeah, yeah.
really really good albums.
We were on the ground floor with
They
that
did,
album.
and then they kind of shifted into like you know like mainstream and like
Yeah,
really
more.
kind of like alter like shifted their thing. But their first couple albums, holy cow! Like yeah,
Okay, my third was Nine Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral.
didn't have that on there,
That one
which
changed my whole trajectory in music taste and everything. So that's why it has to be here. And obviously, when I was organizing all my stacks, I was trying to first I was kind of putting them in similar subgenre orders. Then I was like, ah, fuck all that, and then I just started spreading them out. But then I could see like the taller towers were like where I had multiple CDs by the band. Like I had a bunch of
I didn't know.
Corns,
I knew
tons
you
of
were into
Ozzy.
them. I didn't know you was that like.
But Nine Inch Nails was the skyscraper, like
Hmm.
20 CDs above all the others I had, maybe 5 or 6 at the most. So they were, yeah. I don't think I remembered how big I was until I had this exploration. Okay, you were next one.
Two is October Rust.
October Rust is on my list. Yes. So that's the first or the second one we have in common, Tool and that one. Then my last one is Marilyn Manson, Portrait of an American Family. And I picked
Oh,
that over Antichrist because
interesting.
I found this one when it came out. And again, it changed so much of what I found interesting in music, and I still to this day listen to it from start to finish, and it's the same experience every time. So
Wow.
it's a magical thing. So, what was your last one? Do you have one that we
That's
haven't?
Enema. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
I've got like, I've got an honorable mention, Metallica Load. Like,
yeah,
it,
that was. I mean, I wanted to talk about that specifically in this
yeah,
episode,
we
but
could do
we didn't
that.
have enough time.
Maybe we
So,
should do a Metallica episode, just Metallica.
yeah, yeah. I
Real
think
fun.
we can do whatever we want. It's our podcast. So,
What's your last one? Yeah, it's
what?
true. what, what's your last one?
That's it. We've said
Oh
them
yeah.
all. I had Tool, Bush, Nine Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson, and Typo Negative.
Yeah,
So,
I want to do a real quick, just personal shout out. Like, sorry, Marilyn Manson, Bush, Verve, Dave, Live, Counting Crows, Nine Inch Nails, Silverchair, Oasis, Pantera, AC/DC. Ballbreaker was fucking amazing. That came close.
that's a good one.
That came close. Smashing Pumpkins, Corn, and Limp Bizkit.
I
Wow.
think that, well, I mean, that, what you just said with ACDC, I think that is its own episode because, like, because we were saying Aerosmith, they were one of our favorite bands.
They
Van
didn't have
Halen.
anything in this particular period, though. I don't think. Like,
Well,
like they
Get a
had.
Grip was 93, and that they carried that one for years
They did.
because of how huge it
I left
was.
that one out. That would absolutely be on my top seven, six, five, six, seven. Like,
But I think an episode should be bands that existed well before the 90s and
that
what they
kept
did in
going.
the 90s. Like,
AC/DC, Aerosmith, which I never stopped listening to. Like, when all this was going on and all this like new shift of grunge, new grunge, even into like new metal, I'm still like
yeah,
catching up on everything else that was before it, right?
right.
And like,
Regular rock that wasn't
just
anything
rock
special,
music,
right?
however you, yeah, and that those were, so yeah.
But there were lots of bands that tried to change their stripes to meet what was now on MTV all the time. So like
Rolling Stones came out
Metallica,
with an album, I think, somewhere in there. Like,
yeah, right,
Love Is Strong came out somewhere in there. Like, I forget.
right.
No, like,
That was a good one. I love that album. Okay, let's do the top 5 songs, and then we can close this. This is going to be one of our longer ones, I think.
this is.
Okay, I'll go first for this since you went first for the last one. So I picked Filter, Hey Man, Nice Shot,
Oh,
just
so
because that every time I hear it, it's like that's so fucking cool, and it's never lost an ounce of its coolness.
there'll never exist a moment in my life if that song comes up. I don't turn up whatever
Because you know where it's
device
headed in the chorus.
ever.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so good. Okay,
Even in the middle of it, I'll just say, yeah. But so I did mine again, a different way. I didn't have the mental capacity or the time to go through and sift through 1,800 songs. So I just picked my favorite song out of my albums,
okay,
out of each of my 5. I'll go with Wolf Moon from Typo Negative.
nice. Yeah, that's an awesome one. My next one is from one of my albums. So Nine Inch Nails, Closer is the top one.
That would have been, if it was very close to making the list, and that would have been absolutely fucking amazing, life changing song. Like, it was
Right.
so different, weird, and cool.
Yep.
I'll do Awaken Dreaming from the Finger 11 album.
Nice. That's such a good song.
It's so
Um, Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name. So while that came out in 92, so I am bending the rules,
breaking the
it
rules.
wasn't, or it didn't catch fire until much later in the 90s, I would imagine, because I don't remember hearing it as much. But now it's taken on, a whole different life in terms of being a political statement and
Oh yeah,
played at, concerts and, events.
still hear
and
on the
things.
radio in Charlotte to this day. Like,
Right.
we
It's
still play it. Yeah.
everywhere. So that one is
Big one.
top one. Okay, next one.
Osmosis. That was hard. I picked Tomorrow. Little bit of a deeper-ish cut.
Yeah, no, it's a great
Wasn't
song.
a Perry Mason, but it's Tomorrow. I like Tomorrow.
Perry Mason is the one. I mean, there's
That was the
probably
one that just hit you right in the face.
it's like a
oh my
train that
God.
hits you. The way the guitar volume kind of comes, and it's
And just
so
drives the whole way through, and
sensational.
just gets heavier as it goes. Oh
Right.
my God. I picked Tomorrow just to like be different and like weird.
Yeah, no, that's one of the top ones on the album.
Yeah.
Okay, this one, I know you'll love it, but I bet it's a dark horse you wouldn't expect. The Cure Burn
Oh fuck!
from The
That's
Crow.
funny. I had that on my like. That's number six. Like
Yeah,
I was like, do we count that as an album?
it's a
Like,
song in the
and
period.
I did some research on like that on the soundtracks in that time period. That was the only one that hadn't. There was others on that were amazing, but they'd all been on studio
Oh,
albums.
and that
But
was just for that soundtrack. That's
just for that
interesting.
soundtrack, yeah, good one. Oh, wow, good one. Yeah, that's where. Yeah, thinking definitely on the same lines. Push It from Tool.
Amazing.
Yeah, one of the best songs I've ever. Yeah,
My last one is More Human Than Human, White Zombie.
good one. My last one is El Phantasmo and the Chicken Run Blastorama from White Zombie on the
Nice.
same album. But what's amazing about this one is that the super sexy sing whatever the
Hmm.
techno album, the version of the El Phantasmo song is so awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't even really realize, so it made me go back to the original album and be like, yeah, that's awesome. And so yeah,
I'll have to
that's
give that one a redo because
please
I
do. Do
totally disregarded it.
start with the techno one.
But
It'll
that, I mean,
blow your face off. Yeah.
I know, I mean, it's a typical teenage reaction, but that song, More Human Than Human, you know, it has the porno
The
audio in
porno
the
in the
beginning, in
beginning
between the heavy guitar.
definitely caught your attention.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and as a 14, 15-year old, like, and again, I don't want to get into the subject of porn availability, but there wasn't much in the 90s. There wasn't any internet. There wasn't, it was physical printed magazines. So the fact that we could buy a CD by a cool band we liked, and he liked that too, and he was putting, audio clips. I mean, it
Just
was
putting it
hard to
out
listen to
there.
that one in front of anyone else. Like, this was one, like, I need my headphones out of this.
We just lock the door just in case.
Right,
Whatever. Fucking
right.
yeah,
That was a big part. I mean, not a big part for me liking it, but it definitely helped, sweeten the deal.
yeah. It definitely did. It was like, yeah, it's like I was listening to like REM, and the next song was that, and I was like, okay,
Right. Yeah.
like
It's
whoa.
it's a whole different level of mature audience
Wasn't
listening.
it an incredible era? One that I don't think I not that I don't, I definitely didn't understand in the time of how, during those,
Yeah.
94 to 97. I thought were kind of like throwaway years. It was like between grunge and then like whatever, like so many things came out of
Yeah.
that that I still
It's
love to this day in various ways. Like this was yeah, this was crazy. Like just unlocking memories and like associations of different things. This was insane.
yeah, it's wonderful. And like I said, I'm so happy I found my CDs.
I'm
Go
so happy you found that. That's
look
awesome.
on Instagram if you haven't seen it yet.
I did, yeah.
I just posted I put 25 out in a nice little collage in a perfect square, and it was 25 albums to get to know me from this time period of what we're
Yeah,
talking about. And
yeah.
there's a lot of what we talked about. The five that I picked are in there, but there's the Aerosmiths, the Van Halens. I've got all sorts of just random little things. I like Moby. I loved Moby back then. Like, and so that was one I didn't even think about through this whole exercise till I saw a physical copy. So yeah, look at and maybe you can take the image and overlay it on the
Oh yeah, that'll be
because
on
you're
there.
good at doing that.
One thing I wasn't gonna escape this episode. I know we're way over, but like the like I'm so jealous that you have that and you can
Yeah,
pick that up and like pull the insert out. Like the artwork mattered then. Like the
I
back of
know.
the CD mattered. What was in the inside mattered. And
Right.
that's gone now.
It's
Completely
totally
gone.
fine. I know. I'll share this now just because I already shared it with you, but I picked this one, Aerosmith Get a Grip, and I saw that there was like a little thing here. So I was like, what is
And there's
that?
always hidden tracks, there's hidden pieces
But
of whatever there's
it's my ticket stub of seeing Aerosmith in '94.
amazing.
And this was row L.
That's not bad.
It was close. Like
We're
row
at
L. This was at
Rosemont?
Marcus
Oh,
Amphitheater, but
Marcus.
row L would have been,
That's not bad.
A B C to L, so it was like 15th row maybe, and it was only $45 to be
Jesus.
that close to a band like Aerosmith, which that tour was monstrously huge.
Oh, enormous.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping I find more shit like that in my CDs because that was
And
a
it's
that was
so
like
cool
a
that you
great.
still have that and like the physical ownership. And I mean, that's a whole
Yeah,
nother topic we should get into across movies too. You're the expert on all that, but like that makes a difference. And I feel like I'm like not having that. It's like a hole. Like it
yeah,
feels. I mean, I could pick up and listen to literally any of these songs we've talked about at the drop of a dime, but I don't have that piece of it
yeah.
that was so in like, getting the cellophane open and like trying to get the fucking thing out of the thing and like there was all sorts of like just that era and the CDs and that was and apart from the concerts and everything else that was just a piece that our kids won't know like
No, not at all. I
like
mean, I, I mean, I'm hopeful. I left my past self left my future self more little tidbits like that to find because like
and left your
ticket
kids
stub.
that shit too like that's
Yeah,
something like that's a thing yeah it's awesome.
because maybe I left myself money or something. It's like,
I'm
forgot
pretty
I
sure you
stashed
still
money
have
in this CD and now it's been waiting here for 30 years. But yeah, it's
yeah.
a fun revisit for sure. Just to, I mean,
Amazing time period. One that
and
I thought
some of them were so interactive. Like this one
I
is
know that one.
so
I know
fucking
that one.
cool.
That's one. That's one of the ones I still have. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're
And
all like
you know
cracked,
what I almost guarantee is I lost it and rebought it
rebought. Yeah,
2010 like but on eBay like just to have it I had to have it.
right. Like this one is really
Yep.
it's all like squished and because it was like a slip cover to
Yeah.
this, but it's
Yeah.
all like crapped and squished. But almost every single case has like a little subtle crack across the front
You
just
know,
because they've
here's what I
been.
want you to do when you get some time: is take all the CDs out of the thing, turn them over, and get a picture
Oh,
of
I
all the
know.
scratches on them, and see. And like, I want like statistics. I'm like, do they still work? I guess you'd have to buy a
Yeah,
CD player. I don't know where you get one of those anymore, but
I, that yeah. I looked at one of these. I can't remember, and it looked terrible. I'm like that's not going to play anymore. I mean, it was probably. I mean, I think vinyl scratched quite easily too, if you
yeah,
mishandled it. But and cassette would sometimes get jangled
they'd
up,
get
and
or get unwoven. Yeah,
but these were very easily damaged. You didn't have to do anything to them. Just the fact of sticking them in and sticking them out,
and if
even
you
if you
had
didn't
one
touch it.
good enough scratch, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it
And
was totally shit.
yeah,
Um, yeah, okay. I think that's all we got. Sorry
yeah,
for going fucking long, but
really fucking long, but it was a good one.
I think yeah, if I hadn't have found my CDs, it wouldn't have been long. But that really expanded the whole depth of the episode quite considerably.
No,
So,
yeah, I think we
all right,
covered a lot. Yeah, it's good.
thanks for hanging in there. So yeah, next week I think we're gonna keep going, or probably it'll be more than a week because it's going to be another amount of considerable research. So we will go into the next era after the post grunge, which is mostly new metal, but there's tons of
2000,
other stuff too.
2003 ish. Yeah.
So we did 94 to 97 roughly loosely in this. So should we do 97 to 2000 and then cap it at least that decade?
Let's
Is
talk
that
about that. Yeah, I think a lot of this, maybe. I mean, let's look into it. Yeah, let's find
yeah.
out. I was thinking more like 2000 to 2003, kind of that
Yeah, you can go
next.
longer. It'll be more
But
band or
I
yeah.
mean, I didn't. I honestly didn't think this would be as robust as it was. So
It's
maybe
pretty
that three.
meaty.
Yeah, let's look into it and see.
98 to 03, that's the next considerable chunk
That's
then.
a big one. We might have to. Yeah, we'll look into it. And then we'll.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll see how the stuff collects and then we'll be able
yeah.
to gauge how long it'll take. All right, so stay tuned to continue the time warp forward through the 90s and all the music and fun that we had. All right. Take care until next time.